Live from Fox 30, this is Action News at 10. Coverage you can count on in high definition begins with breaking news.
An unlucky lightning strike. Tonight, one family has lost everything. It happened so fast, all anyone could do was stand and watch.
Our cameras picked up this lightning on the south side. Now, we've slowed it down to give you a good look. In all, 5 homes caught fire during the intense lightning storms.
And it wasn't just the lightning. There are new pictures from Denise in Keystone Heights. Winds topping 60 miles an hour ripped the porch right off her house and tossed around furniture like children's toys. First Alert Doppler HD shows how intense it was at the height of the storms. Right now, the severe weather has moved on, and the First Alert Weather Center is given the all clear for tonight.
But there is still a lot of cleaning up to do. Action News is bringing you team coverage as families recover. And we begin with Chauncey Glover live on the action cam from the north side. And Chauncey, you spoke with several families whose homes were struck by lightning.
Well, Mark, you can still smell the smoke here in the air, even still see it lingering in the air. Take a look at all of this damage, just shingles and debris just tossed to the side. And right here, hanging off the side of this house, you have twisted metal, and this roof is completely burned. And fire officials say Mother Nature is the one to blame. Mother Nature unloads on the north side. This is home video shot by a neighbor as lightning hit this home.
We're looking at the heavy black smoke that I first saw when I looked out of my window.
The crash sounded through the neighborhood, sending folks outside to see what had happened.
My daughter said that there's a house smoking, and I didn't believe her. And she was like, no, look. So I looked outside, and this house was definitely on fire.
Shane Hood called 911 as that house was once again shaken by strikes. Hood's home is just a few feet away.
It scared me because it being so close. I couldn't believe it.
Now, firefighters say it took them about 45 minutes to get this fire under control. They say it was extremely dangerous for them because it was still lightning in the air.
It takes a little while to get all the manpower out here. You know, we're pretty much over in the far side of the county.
And while Chief Dempsey and his men worked to put out the flames, a block away, Mother Nature struck again, ripping a hole right through the roof of this home.
And I thought the flames had jumped to another house, and that house is closer to my house, so I got really, really scared. I thought we was gonna have to evacuate.
And this house had just gone on the market, but with a charred roof and soot-stained walls, a fire sale might be the best way to go.
Mother Nature sometimes. People don't have an idea how rough it can be.
And fire officials and also folks who live in this neighborhood say they're just thankful tonight that no one lived in either of these 2 homes and no one was hurt. We're live on the north side tonight. I'm Chauncey Glover, Fox 30 Action News.
Some absolutely amazing video of that. Also, just coming into our newsroom, we now know that downed power lines have shut down State Road 26 in Melrose. Also, about 200 Clay Electric customers are without power in the Keystone Heights and Melrose areas. Chief Meteorologist Mike Burrish is now tracking the very latest in the First Alert Weather Center.
Well, I'm happy to say not a whole lot to track now at this hour as the storms have quickly moved away and weakened. So it's an all clear for the rest of the night for northeastern Florida and southeast Georgia. Where we had the most rain, we'll see some areas of fog developing, and it could be locally dense tonight. But as you can see on First Alert Doppler HD now, nothing compared to what we had a few hours ago when we had all the lightning strikes and the extremely heavy rain. Some of the hardest hit areas, Camden and Glynn County in Georgia, Nassau County in Florida, then also southwestern Clay County, that area around Keystone Heights that had a good deal of wind and some heavy rainfall too. But now all that's left of those storms, one little thunderstorm northwest of Ocala. You can see the lightning strikes, and that's really all we have now, and that will weaken and dissipate within the next hour. And then the story goes right back to the heat. Temperatures today soaring into the 90s. Palaca hit 100 degrees. Tomorrow morning it'll be in the low 70s at 6 a.m., but by 10 a.m. in just 4 hours we'll have already jumped into the mid 80s. Under partly to mostly sunny skies, a burn time that'll be as low as 10 to 15 minutes already. By 10 o'clock in the morning, we will also be tracking a few more storms. I'll have the First Alert details in a few minutes.
We have new information on flash flooding that claimed at least 16 lives at a campsite in Arkansas. Helicopters spent the evening circling 2 rivers near that campsite, searching for signs of any of the 40 people still missing. It all started before dawn when heavy rain sent the water level of the quiet Caddo and Little Missouri rivers rising by as much as 8 feet in an hour. The floodwater spilled into the recreation area, which with such force, it knocked down trees and collapsed homes.
My mom woke me up and said, pack your stuff. The water's like right outside the cabin. I didn't believe her at first, so I walked out, I looked out, and the water's like right next to the car.
Well, as of tonight, 24 people have been rescued and taken to hospitals. As far as the cleanup, emergency officials say it could take weeks to recover from the damage the water left behind.
New at 10, it was a heroic effort to save a woman stuck in the marsh. Bystanders say they jumped in to save the woman trapped in the mud off Heckscher Drive, but they were too late. Action News' Catherine Varnum joins us live from North Jacksonville with their story. And Catherine, these people, they risked their own lives to save her, but they had to be rescued themselves.
That's right, Paige. They did. You know, it was really tough out here, and it looked like the couple, the woman and her boyfriend, had been out here for a couple hours. Witnesses I talked to had seen them out here standing with no problem, but police say the woman just tripped and fell. And if you take a look down here at the stand right now, the witnesses who went out in this say it was a lot like quicksand. They just got stuck. The water rolls in calmly and quietly, almost no signs of danger. But these tracks through the mud show signs of a struggle.
It's about 100 yards out. She was out in the sand, in the mud itself.
This family was trying to enjoy a sunny day in the water, but they saw a woman stuck in the mud. 16-year-old Cody Overstreet ran in to try and help.
I was sliding.
We laid on our back and just scooted. I mean, that was the only way you could get out there.
I got tired of doing that. I flipped over on my stomach.
Cody says he even had a hard time in the mud. By the time other family members got there and tried to help, they knew it was too late.
She was on her stomach. By the time everybody got to her, she already had mud all in her mouth, and it wasn't nothing else nobody could do.
Everyone was covered in mud, and they're still pretty shaken up.
I stood about 10 feet out, and I sunk to my waist, and I was steadily sinking.
The mud was all the way up to here. I got stuck.
Fire trucks line the street and use these boards to crawl out and rescue the woman.
They said she was swimming.
They said she was trying to swim out there, but I don't understand how when it's nothing but mud.
Mud this family can shake off, but this place where a woman lost her life is something that will be harder to shake.
I mean, for a 16-year-old to swim out there and save her, or try to save her, is scary too. Watching her face down, you don't even know what's going to happen to him, and you can't even get out there to neither one of them.
Police have not released that victim's name just yet, but we do know her boyfriend was back out here about an hour ago. He picked up his car, he picked up a cooler that had been out here, but he didn't want to comment on what had happened earlier today. We're live on the north side. I'm Catherine Varnum, Fox 30 Action News.
All right, Catherine, and police are still trying to figure this out. They are doing an autopsy to determine the woman's exact cause of death.
Amazing video just into the Action newsroom of a gas main fire in Mandarin. It was actually a controlled situation that took place at Loretto Elementary School. We're told a gas company overfilled the gas tanks at that school, so firefighters had to burn off the excess gas. Nobody was hurt during the incident or in danger. New tonight, it will be at least until July before BP can stop the oil spewing into the Gulf.
More crude will be collected starting next week when the company brings in another rig, but it'll be weeks before crews are ready to try a new, more effective method of bringing the oil to the surface.
And today, thick blobs of oil could be seen washing up along Alabama's Gulf Coast. The thick mixture was spotted in Bon Secours, a wildlife habitat for migratory birds and nesting sea turtles.
And tonight, President Obama is catching a lot of heat for not speaking directly to BP executives since the rig explosion. Critics say they can't believe it has taken so long.
The president, in the first 50 days of this ordeal, never spoke to the CEO of British Petroleum. I believe is very telling.
BP's CEO will face off against congressional lawmakers next week. That's when he's scheduled to testify before a House committee that has already heard from relatives of the men who died in that rig explosion.